Back to this quilt. We got pairs of these guys. These are our pairs of flying geese blocks. So the next thing we need to do is sew these together. And to do that, we move one center out of the way. So we're going to sew them like this. This is your 1/4 inch guy. And so, and it doesn't matter which side you actually go on because you're going to line them up. And here's the important part. Come on, buddy. There we go. Do you see where it makes that X there? That's where you need to sew across. That is very, very important. So what I like to do, especially when I have threads that match pretty darn close, let's zoom back out, is, and you only have to do this on 4 of your blocks, one of each set. And because you have that bump there, when you go over it with your presser foot, it could throw you out of whack. So, I'm right-handed, so I have to do it this way. And my 1/4 inch, this is my 1/4 inch guy. You can use a regular ruler for this. I just like to kind of extend that line. I should close my pen. And make it more visible to see. Make sure you're using water-soluble pencil if you're using super light colors, or like I said, use this. And so what I did is I went right across the top with my pen so I can see exactly where I need to be sewing. I need to be sewing on that line, and that'll bring me across so that this will match up there. So let's do that to our other 3. So that's a 1 block. And we'll have the 2 block. And this color matched pretty darn good, so we want to kind of line that up so it's 1/4 inch. The main thing though is your point, because you're going to learn that as you go along and become more experienced, if you're not already, when you get to these certain little points, you can cheat and, you know, kind of force the material to go where you want. You give it a little twist in your machine. So when you put your blocks together, make sure, you know, that they're going like this, so they're opposite of each other. At least that's what they look like. Right sides together, of course. And one more. Yeah. And you don't have to do this. If you can see your threads enough, go right ahead and go ahead and sew. I just like this little bit of extra guidance. Quilters look at points. That's what they look at. So you're going to go that way. We have one more. We look at our points and our intersections, and most of the time, the only ones that see the mistakes are ourselves. We're our own worst critiques, and that's okay, but don't be too hard on yourself. You put a lot of time and effort, love and thought and care into your quilt, so no matter what, it's always perfect. Always perfect. Gifts of love are perfect. From beginner to advanced, it doesn't matter. Okay, so now we'll make sure everybody's lined up together. And we're going to sew 1/4 inch, making sure we cross that line as we go. Let's adjust the camera up. Okay. So this time we're going to use the edge of our fabric as our guide for a 1/4 inch. I like to put my fabric up to my needle just before I start sewing. And take your time at this. This one's a little bit more crucial. Since I'm not pinning, I need to check as I go. It's not a huge piece, so it really shouldn't move too much anywhere. But it has that possibility. You might want a little bit firmer grip on this time, without pulling or tugging, of course. Okay, now we're coming up to our line, and see that line? I can stick it right into that the groove of my foot, my quilter foot, and I can see that I'm going right. Oh, if you get a catch like that, stop. Hopefully your machine is in needle down position. If it's not, turn the hand wheel and put it in the needle down position. That way you can adjust. Okay, continue sewing. Alright, now I'll pick up a little speed at the end here. This is where production sewing is a little nerve-wracking to me, because I want to open it up and see how I did. But it's the surprise waiting for us. I feel like that's set right. Okay, we're good. Guide your fabric under. Next, almost there. After this, we only have 3 more seams, and we're done with this part of the block. And then we'll go to our batting and backing, and our batting and backing, and what else? Oh, our borders. Yes, if you notice we didn't cut any borders, we're waiting until the end before we cut borders, so we know how much to cut. In case our blocks are a ½ inch off or a 1/4 inch off. Like I said, this is a little bit non-conventional, I guess. Get under there, sir, please. Be confident in what you're doing. Don't be nervous. Confidence is a good thing to have. And if you happen to make that mistake, be confident that at some point in life you will you will master the skill. Have faith in yourself. It's good. Quilting is good. I don't know if you've seen how that went wonky a little bit. And that's what I was talking about, that little cheat. If you have to do that, it is perfectly legal. Nobody's ever going to know the difference. Woo! We get to go to the ironing board and see how well our box came out. So exciting. Oh, come on, a little more. So exciting. We're going to set our seam. I'm going to show you that. And oh, there's your booger. It doesn't want to focus. But the ink is gone. Okay, so surprise number 1. Ooh, that looks pretty good. Doesn't matter which way you decide you want to open these, because these aren't going to be affected by any other seams. That one looks pretty good. Just a smidgy. If you hold it up though, it looks like a good point. If you're looking at it from the flat, of course you're going to see that little itty bitty bit. I'm totally acceptable with that. Number 2. Number 2. Open. Ooh, this looks like another pretty one. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you too. See, now you should have this little bit of a fold over on each of the ends as well. Down here. That's for your next 1/4 inch seam allowance. So I'm pretty pleased with that one as well. I'm not starching this time because I feel like my fabric is pretty stiff still. Press. Open. Oh, another little pretty one. And there's a string. There's my little scissors. Yep, as you find these things as you're going, it's best to trim them off right away instead of waiting till later and having to go through your quilt. Oh, yeah, I gotta trim. Do it when you see it. To me, that seems like the best idea. Look at these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful squares. So pleased with these. And for our last guy, ink gone. Open says me. And now see, to me this is the elite block. This is the perfect block. Because even when you're looking at it from the lower angle here, this is the absolute perfect point there. Because when you look at it straight on, it's pointed, and when you look at it from that way, from the flat side, it's still a point. So I like that one the best. I'm going to press that a little more in there. This one seems a little flippy floppy. Not that we have too much more to do with these, but like I said, I like them good and crisp while I'm sewing. Okay, so to sew these together, I don't even have enough room up here, I don't think. Let's go back and see. We can cheat it. I'm gonna go this way. This one's gonna go this way. Is that right? This one goes this way. So all your geese are pointing to the outside opposite of each other. And this is how we're going to lay our blocks out. So make a sandwich, and then once again 1/4 inch down that seam. And when I do production sewing, there's only 2 here, but still, to make sure when I move these over, I put a pin into the side that I'm going to sew, just to make sure that if I walk away, get up and walk away, I don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, which side was that, and have to, you know, lay everything back out and look at it. Just put a little pin in there. So my camera angle's a little different this time, it's alright. Pardon me. Okay, so this is our pin side. I know I flipped it over, but that's okay. Again, 1/4 inch down the edge of your fabric. Now we're not matching anything up on this side. Oh, I guess I lied. I kind of lied. This guy here, you have this corner point. I'm going to cheat and flip this over that way. You have this corner point, and so you still want to, you can just do this with a pen, make it darker, know your 1/4 inch, but you want to hit that point on this side. That's pretty important. Because you have points in the tops, points on the sides, all our points have got to match. Alright, so it's going to be the same on the other one. So I probably should have pressed those seams the other way. We'll manage. So before I even get started, I'm going to mark this darker fabric so I can see where I'm going, and into our machine. Okay. I was going that way too far, so I kind of forced my fabric over that line. And then I'll walk it back out. And red saber it up. There you go. Now when we press these ones, we're going to need to press them opposite of each other because they'll come together better. They'll nest better. It's called nesting our seams. So what I would suggest is first I'm going to repress that seam. That'll help. Now we kind of need to turn you toward the ironing board here. Onto the ironing board. Constantly cleaning this up. I went the wrong direction. These are directional. This helps keeps the threads off of your quilt. And trust me, if I would have had one of those, starch. Time to wash that guy. Let's go again. One of those roller off ones. It'd be empty by now. Okay, so this is, let me back you up a little bit. This is the seam I was telling you about. I should have pressed it the other way. Which I'm going to do, it's not going to hurt nothing. Because we're going to have this corner to go over eventually as well. Press that. Oh, set this seam too. And okay, so I'm going to open this one this way. So the next one we have to open the other way. Very nice. Very nice points, ladies and gents and children and adults and fur babies that are watching with us. Very exciting. Okay. Look at that. That's very pretty. That sounds right. And our next one. I'll press this back. Excuse me, Mr. Block. Bring you back to where you go this way. And set our seam. Okay, so this one is, okay, so this one needs, since this arrow is up, and this is the same background fabric as that one, you need to open this one this way. Excuse me again, Block. Well, how did it come out? A little bit of bulk in there. Can you see that little pucker that's happening? It's kind of, part of it's from the back seam allowance. So just kind of work it. And iron it into submission. Yes, that's what we'll do. Iron it into submission. And it came out gorgeous. This one's a little weird because of that thing. So I'm going to work on that a second. Getting your quilts trained. Yep, training your quilts to where they need to be. taking a little bit of time and TLC works wonders. So, okay, obviously, we're going to put these two back together, and you're going to sandwich them up this way. And I feel like I went totally off board there. So just in case, let's do that again. It was this way and this way. Can you see that? Just move my iron, move this down better. So, this one was pressed this way. This one was pressed this way. We're going to flip them this way and sandwich them together. And this is what's called nesting. This is one important area of your quilt here, is where your two seams come together. And they'll kind of just sit in there together. You kind of play with them a little bit, and you'll feel them lock. And that's called nesting. So, I'm going to put a pin there. Not exactly there, but in that area to keep that centered. Now this is also going to be another point that I need to mark. You can use a ruler or do it freehand. That's totally your choice. We have two of those points on this one. Actually, we have a couple. And this is the tricky. We're going in blind. We're going in blind. So, we're going to mark this guy here at our 1/4 inch. And we're going to mark this guy where that point is. So we want to see him. Now this guy, in order to find where exactly he's at, and you can see this on cam. Okay, there's that corner hiding under here, right there. So what I'm going to do is put a pin in right at the point. Come on through. I'm just sticking it through there and straight up and down. Let me zoom this in. So I took this back point where this was. I just stuck a pin through there, straight through, making sure, you know, my edges matched here well. Haha, okay. It slipped on me. So now I have an idea where this is. And it may or may not come out perfect, but we have a good fighting chance with a line there. Okay, it cut out as I was sticking a pin in. I stuck a pin in at the line just to kind of help make sure it holds there and stays straight. And we have one more matching dot here, which should be pretty easy because it's right at the very corner. Get that 1/4 inch right there. That one doesn't even matter, it'll automatically go in. Don't ask me what I was thinking. Must be getting tired. I'm catching that. There we go. Take your time with this. Okay. You have all that bulk there. that's a wand. Now we're going to come up on our next one. We have to adjust here. Wasn't paying attention. There we go. Okay, so to show you what this looks like. Wrong way. Wrong way. I need a cameraman. I think I need a cameraman. Because, like, the camera didn't beep or anything when it went off. So obviously you're going to set your seam. And press it open. And voila! That's actually pretty good. There's my center point there. You'll be able to see it better when it opens up. And these were the other points I was talking about. Close enough to perfect for me. It's not so bad that I want to overdo it. Alright, so press that open. Or set your seam, press it open. And I'll meet you back at the cutting table for some, we're going to be cutting our batting and our backing, because next comes basting our quilt. We're going to baste our quilt next. We're going to talk a minute about our cutting mats. They're self-healing. This is a June Taylor. It is actually 23 years old. I love it. It's losing its life for cutting, because if you cut in the same spot multiple times, you'll get grooves. Now, to help preserve the life of your cutting mats, never cut in the same place twice, or try to move your fabrics over. Try not to use, when cutting your grid, try to use rulers only for cutting. That way you're not reliant on these guidelines. If you're cutting batting, polar fleece, and like the new cuddle fabrics, always cut on the back and store them flat under a bed. Don't leave them standing up. I did, and I have a little bit of bow, and that's a no-no. So to cut our 18 inches of batting with no marks, we will layer out this way. Smooth it out. My ends are pretty straight on this side because it's already been pre-cut. You will need 2 long rulers. 2 long rulers. I go by this end. This is my folded end. I know that's good and straight. And I'm going to measure 18 inches here. And slide her down just to give her a quick check. And it's a little bit off, so that's 18. And 18, I feel comfortable with that. When you do your cutting, for something thick like this, you definitely need a 60 millimeter rotary cutter. Do not put your hand flat on the ruler. You will slide. Use your hand close to your cutting area, walk it up, and then walk it up. So we'll give her a trim here. This is a lot of fabric. You might have to kind of go back and forth. I do have a new blade in. However, I am not the strongest, and batting likes to fight. You'll learn as you go. You can tell if that fabric's cutting by sound and by feel. Leave your hand in place on your ruler. Give a little tug. I missed one little spot here. Give her a trim, and we're free. Now I'm going to cut some more. However, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to come to the other side of the table. It's nice to be able to work on two sides of the table. I'm going to open this up. Now this is the side that opens. You're going to work from that side. You start cutting from that side. Now I have two different lengths here, so I have to give it a little haircut. Line up. Oh, I'm off cam. You want to line up your ruler edge here and up there. You should be nice and square if you line up your lower edge and your bottom edge. And give this a haircut. And again, measure out 18 inches. So I can get a total of 5 from this cut of fabric. So we have 18. Line her up there. Line her up on this side. Snug. Check down here. We're good. Give it a cut. Give it a tug. I have a nice free cut. Close my cutter. Now I want to show you something else. As long as I have you on cam, but I have to adjust my camera. Let's get a zoom in. This is another little trick I've learned. I don't know if you can see the fuzzies here that are in they're stuck in the mat, and so I'm trying to get out of the camera glare here, or the light glare. So what I do is I use a fabric softener, either used or new, it doesn't matter, and I rub this, and it pulls the little threads out. It will happen on the front too, even with cutting some of your fabrics that like to fray very easily, and this will help the longevity of your cutting mat. It'll allow it to heal, because with this stuff in there it cannot heal, and it's that simple.